Good to go? Okay, we're going to start back up here, guys. Unfortunately, we're losing people, and now we got to the fun stuff where we're talking about how we're going to save money instead of all the depressing things. So I get the fun. I don't know who those three ladies on the slides are, but I think you have to get a newer picture. But we're going to be talking about promotional incentives. You've seen them before, you've talked about them, but what we did is really started focusing this year on working on solutions, how to obtain them, so that we're helping you through these processes. There's just too much discount now when we get up to 4% on some of these. So all of these folks are from obviously the postal group and longtime people. Kara will be talking about the tactile and sensory and how to actually achieve that promotion, which is going on now. Kathy is going to do the emerging technology, and then we're going to finalize with Maureen Noe, who most of you know from a tracking standpoint, and some of the things that we're going to do out there this year so that we can help you with the informed delivery solutions. Obviously, there's the marketing effect, which we want you to take advantage of, but minimally at least take advantage of these promotions that are out there. Like I say, there's a good way to help offset some of these costs. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kara.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for staying for the late presentation. It has cleared out just a little bit. But we did want to start really just kind of giving you an overview summary of the promotions. And they did not tell me how to use this. There we go. So why participate in the USPS promotions? And it's interesting because I get that question a lot, not just why participate, but why is the USPS providing promotions, right? We get that question quite a bit. And the promotions from the USPS perspective is what can we do as a mailer to enhance the mail, to make it more interesting, right, to the recipient and get you to interact with it, to tie that offline to your online and really incorporate that into your mail piece and just get that few extra seconds with that person that's receiving your piece of mail. So they're really wanting to encourage you as marketers to utilize different technologies and different solutions to make that happen. The other reason, obviously, as we've been talking about all throughout this whole thing, is the upcoming increase. So when you're looking at your postage, which is your biggest expense of creating the catalog, you want to say, okay, what can we do to mitigate some of these additional additional expenses that we're getting ready to incur. And these solutions are a great way to do that. When you're looking here at this July 10th upcoming increase at, as you saw, very great variances in the numbers from, 6% to some people are going to get 20 or 25% an increase. This is a great way to be able to mitigate that. Plus, the upcoming years where you're going to potentially get 2 increases a year, we want to find ways to help you with that. So we're going to summarize, or we're going to go into more detail of all of the promotions. 2 of them we're not really going to talk about a lot, but I'll just quickly highlight some things about them. First, I'll talk about the tactile and sensory. Kathy will then review the emerging and advanced technology. The earned value is one that we are not going to get into in too much detail, but if you are a customer that uses BRC cards, it's a great way for you to get an incentive to sign up for this promotion, and you get a 2-cent credit for each piece that is returned that you can use later this year. That's something for any mailer who uses a BRC. It's both first class and marketing mail. So it's something just to consider. The reason we're not going to talk about it in too much detail is because actually you had to sign up by March 31st of this year to get that incentive. But if you want to think about it for next year, this is something I'm assuming they may do again next year. It's something they've done before. So it's something to consider start thinking about next year. This is something you may want to consider. The personalized color trans promo, also something we're not going to talk about in a lot of detail because honestly, we don't have a lot of customers at Quad that utilize that with us. But it is something that if you do statements and any kind of account summaries that you're mailing to your customer, if you want to incorporate some color images and some color into that, it is a way that you can get a discount, and it's a 3% discount, so it's a good number. So something to consider if you are someone, maybe you don't do it at Quad, maybe even you do it somewhere else, it's something definitely to consider. After that, we're going to talk about, Maureen is going to go into informed delivery. This is one that I've been saying every single customer who is eligible should do informed delivery in the fall. It's a 4% discount. It's pretty simple to do, and so Maureen will talk about that in more detail. And then Kathy's going to get into the mobile shopping, a 2% discount. If you can't qualify for informed, do the mobile. So I'm going to start off with tactile, sensory, and interactive. So it's literally that, tactile, touch and feel, sensory, smells, putting scents on your pieces, and interactive, creating something interesting within your piece that will cause the recipient to interact with the piece. Again, giving you some more time with that customer as they're looking through your piece that you send. Some things that qualify. First, we're going to start with the tactile and the sensory, so that's what this one is. Things like specialty inks, sensory treatments, interactive treatments, doing things like soft touch, doing things that really just kind of stand out and again, have them want to interact with it. This particular promotion started February 1st, goes through July 31st. Many of you have probably heard from one of us because we found out that gloss paper was actually something that was approved, which was really exciting. In the past, I know people ask us why and kind of what's the catch, and we don't know, and we're just taking it as much as we can, right? But in the past, we never really pushed tactile because mostly the cost to do that tactile or interactive piece was greater than the discount that you were getting. But this year, the USPS did increase the discount from 2% to 4%, which really helps make more sense. And then again, they added the gloss paper. So, there's lots of options that you can go through to use this and to qualify. So something to consider, we've always said if you've considered testing, like if you wanted to test a soft touch on your cover, or there's things you've been wanting to try, this is a great way to try it and then let the promotion help pay for that. So here's some things that we have actually had pre-approved on the sensory side by the USPS. So again, leather touches, soft touch, reticulating strike through, where it kind of stands out and it just, again, stands out in the mailbox and makes them want to connect with that particular piece. Foils, all kinds of UV different touches. Anything like that you would want to do, that would be great to catch the eye of the recipient to get them to interact with your piece. And then from interactive, these are all, again, interactive pieces that we have had customers use and have been pre-approved. And it's really allowed customers to kind of think differently about creating their piece. We had a customer who was doing a multi-wrap, and as you can see on there, there's a zipper opening. They actually just added a zipper opening to it. It was very easy for them to do. Got them that additional 4% discount. Some customers who were doing snap packs that switched them to interactive. So looking at ways that you can maybe make a slight change to your piece and it not cost you really too much money, and then be able to obtain that discount. Huge dollars for you. So next we're going to go to emerging and advanced, and we're going to turn it over to Kathy. Green button.
Thanks, Kara. So Emerging Advanced Technology Promotion, it is a great promotion that allows you to connect your physical mail piece with digital technologies. You can use some of these technologies to help boost your brand awareness. You can create interactive experience for your customers so that they can connect with your products on more of an interactive perspective. And then as final, you could do an engagement with your customers in new ways, right? So this year, they've offered 7 different technology options for this promotion. And one thing they did a little bit differently, in the past it's been 2%, discount for this promotion, now they have 2 different levels of discounts. So depending on which technology you use, you'll either qualify for a 2% discount or potentially a 3% discount. One thing that we found with this promotion is that it tends to be a little bit overwhelming what the requirements are and when you start looking at all the different digital technologies available. So Quad works really closely with the USPS when it comes to these promotions to really understand what the requirements are. And then we look at that and say, okay, how can we come up with a very cost-effective solution that clients can utilize so that they can take advantage of these promotions and maintain the majority of the savings. So I'm going to walk through some of these technologies that are available, not in detail, and we'll focus a little bit more on a couple of them. And you'll see how clients can engage in them. This promotion, started in March, and it runs through August 31st. Obviously, when we found out about the tactile, a lot of clients started using this, and then we were able to have them switch over to the tactile to get that additional percent discount. So the technologies that qualify for the 2% promotion, there's enhanced augmented reality, and there's basic integration with voice assistant. The enhanced augmented reality is it's taking that interactive experience that allows you to take real-world products or objects and enhance them with 3D technology. The basic integration and voice assistance program really allows you to use the current search capabilities that there are through Google, Siri, things of that nature. So it gets you want to start thinking differently on how can you start to maybe incorporate some of these technologies to give your clients a different experience with your brand. The 3% discount has an advanced integration with voice assistants. So what this does is it takes the standard capability, search capability, and it allows you to customize it specifically to your brand. It does allow or create more of an opportunity, you would need to probably customize and have a little bit of programming involved to have this promotion or this technology. Near field communication, again, NFC chip, you embed that into your mail piece, and it allows interaction with an NFC type device. We also have mixed reality and virtual reality. So again, just kind of expanding on that interactive experience, really being able to incorporate sound and touch and real world experience with your products. So I'm going to kind of jump to here the video and print. And this is one that we took back and looked at all the different qualifying technologies, and we said, you know what, we can come up with a solution for the shoppable video option that's very cost effective, that allows you to take advantage of the promotion and maintain the majority of those savings. So I'm going to walk through an example of what we did to assist a client with this technology. And the thing about the video and print technology, it's not just showing a video. It's really creating an interactive video experience. So with the shoppable video, what it's doing is taking a video and allowing you to interact and create a shoppable experience. So we worked with LL Bean in creating a shoppable video experience with a hotspot. So I'm going to play this video to show you an example of the experience that we helped create for the client. Maybe. Well, it's not going to play. Okay. Well, we want to, I don't need. Gotta love technology. So if you have your phones, though, which I know the majority of you do, I believe you could actually scan the QR code that's up there and try and play the experience. And if not, we will have this experience in the tech center tomorrow for you to actually see the experience. But what I also want to share with you guys is that you'll notice these are all triggered, these experiences are triggered with the use of a QR code, or really a flow code, okay? Which QR code is what you think of a coffee. Flow code is a Starbucks of coffee. So you can see there's a little bit more than just the black and white, right? You can use color, you can be more creative with it, with your content. And there's also additional analytics on the back end for you to utilize to take that experience further. So that's another thing that as we go through these experiences, being able to not only tie the video experience, but get the analytics on the back end, right, to see how did that perform for you from a marketing perspective. All right, and then next we are going to turn it over to Maureen for informed delivery.
So how many here are informed delivery subscribers? I would think most people, right? And I'll bet, just like me, you rarely see an interactive campaign where there's a color image in that informed delivery notification. Well, that's going to change. I think the end of this year, we're going to see a lot of color images in those notifications because the post office is offering a 4% discount this year. That's double what they did in past years. So as Kara mentioned, this is something that everyone should look into and take advantage of if at all possible. They're also extending the amount of time that you can utilize this promo. So instead of 3 months, it's 5 months, and it's the 5 months of the year that most people have their greatest volume. So this is thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars that you could save and mitigate some of those postage costs. So most first class and marketing mail does qualify. There are a few exceptions. So business-to-business mailers are unable to take advantage. Business-to institutions, schools, churches, colleges are unable to take advantage. But otherwise, if it's automated mail, it's generally qualifying. So the vast majority of first class and marketing mail will qualify. So a few people here may not know what informed delivery is, so very quickly, it was originally designed as a consumer product, something to allow consumers to see in their email what they're receiving in their physical mail that day. In 2017, the post office offered a new opportunity to mailers to make that experience more interactive and to enhance that consumer experience so that you can brand your mailer better in that informed delivery notification. So in the slide here, it's showing an example of someone pulling up their notification on their phone, and the top informed delivery notice is an interactive campaign. There's a color ride-along, is what they call that little box that's in color. It's meant to be a button that you get the consumer to click on so that they can get to your website and interact that way. The bottom example is a typical informed delivery notice without the interactive campaign that would be provided by a mailer. So flat mailers do have to also include a color image of the front cover of their piece. Letter mailers do not have to because the post office does take a picture of the piece on the equipment. Flat mailers, they're not able to take a picture of the piece, so that has to be provided along with it. So just some stats from the post office on informed delivery. They're at a little over 26% of all households are signed up for informed delivery at this time. 44 million people. And there is a high email open rate and a high click-through rate compared, I'm told, by marketers to other efforts in this regard. So over 64% of the emails sent are opened, and the click-through rates range on average between 4 to 7%. Sometimes a little bit lower, sometimes a little bit higher. So there's opportunity to engage here with your customers in a different way. Now, a lot of mailers that I talk to just say, I only want the discount. Just get me the discount as easy as you can. But there's more value here beyond the discount, and I just want to touch on a few of those things. We've mentioned that there's a high email open rate, but you are also able to connect to more consumers potentially. So many of those informed delivery subscribers are in the same household with each other. So someone's picking up the mail and interacting with that, but multiple people in the same household could be looking at that informed delivery notification and seeing your mail piece and being able to go right to the website. So that's something to think about as well. Another key value is being able to interact with consumers even if you don't have their email address. So as long as you have their physical address and they've signed up for informed delivery, now you can link the printed piece to an email campaign for those people. You may be sending an email out to people that are receiving your printed piece around the same time already, but if you don't have their email, they're not getting that, and in this case, they would. Another key, and there's an opportunity to follow the consumer's activity from the email open through the click-through. So there's back-end reporting that can be provided so you know exactly who is opening that email and who is clicking through, which could help you to enhance a future marketing effort and communicate with those people more appropriately. So the process for informed delivery is not overly complicated. The first step is probably the most important. We call it planning the campaign, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. The next step is to create the images that have to be in the ID notification, and those have to be submitted to the post office for approval during the promotional period. And then you go into the USPS mailer campaign, informed delivery campaign portal on the business customer gateway, and you submit your campaign. It's not a difficult tool. The first time might be a little bit of a struggle, but after that, it's a pretty simple tool to utilize. Then we prepare the mail, we submit it, the promotional discounts applied at the time of mailing, and after the campaign's complete, there are reports that are available to analyze the results, as I mentioned. So that planning the campaign that I mentioned, being the most important part, there's really 3 key pieces to this. And I'm gonna touch on them a little just so you have an idea of the prep work that should be done before you launch into this. We want to get ahead of this. The discount starts August 1st. It's May 4th. So we've got a little bit of time, but we really need to have conversations and get plans in place in June so that you're ready to go by August 1st. So the first step in planning the campaign is determining if you are going to do a basic campaign or a dual campaign. So a basic campaign is one where every record in your mailing is going to receive the exact same experience in the informed delivery notice. So they'll get one ride along that maybe says shop now or click here to learn more, something like that, and it goes to one website, one URL. A dual campaign includes those 2 things, but also a picture of the piece. So as I mentioned before, flats have to include a picture of the piece, which should mean that all flats have to do a dual campaign. Letters have the option. So the second piece of planning your campaign is determining the campaign level. Can it be mid-based or does it have to be IMB serialized? Now, I mentioned before, if you are okay with all of your customers and prospects getting the exact same images and going to the exact same website, we can set up a mid-based campaign. So everything mailed under your mailer ID will get the exact same set of images, very simple, one campaign. If you need to give some of your customers one set of images or one website and some of your customers a different set of images and a different website, or if you have multiple cover versions that are pretty different creatively, then we need to set up an IMB serialized campaign. That gets a little more complicated. The means to communicate to the post office which set of images and website go to which people is to use the serial number that's in the IMB barcode. So before data is processed, we need to identify which records are getting which set of images so that we can identify the individual informed delivery campaigns, serialize those records individually so that we know which ones go with which, and then we can go ahead and submit the campaigns. And then the final step is just gathering all that data together, all the elements that you need to submit the campaign, and then moving into the portal to submit it. Now, I went through all this because I wanted you to understand that there is some prep work. It's not difficult, but there is some work. There's some considerations to be taken into account. There's communication that has to happen between Quad and you, and the post office, and timing is really important to be sure that we get everything done in time for you to get that discount before the postage statement is run. So we've got some options. You could certainly manage this on your own, but please contact us because we have materials to help you. We've got a checklist of things to do and when to do them so that that communication happens smoothly and everyone understands what has to happen. The second option is training. So we can walk you through step by step what needs to happen and then provide you with materials to go on from there and continue to manage the process on your own. The third option is that we can manage it for you. So if you'd like us to, if this feels overwhelming, if you've got too much on your plate, we can help and we can manage it for you. We want everyone who can to take advantage of this offer, to get that discount, to mitigate those postage rates. We do have another option too, because as Joel was talking about this morning, it's not just mitigating the price increases, it's increasing your sales, increasing that interaction with your customers so that you have more revenue coming in. So you can utilize informed delivery for more than just getting the discount. This is a pretty powerful marketing tool. It's still just 26% of the country, but it is 26% of the country. So you may want to look into a more marketing approach to this and really designing something that will increase your sell and that you can utilize the data that comes out of it, some of the dynamic reports that can come out of informed delivery to be able to determine what you're going to do next. How are you going to communicate with that customer next? So there's some more investment with this option, but it's something to consider. So now mobile shopping.
So mobile shopping, I think this has been one of the promotions that's been around the longest, and a lot of clients, I'm sure many of you in this room have taken advantage of it. Ultimately, it's a way to send a mail experience that invites your customers to shop directly from your mail piece, okay? So it's integrating the ability to go to your website by scanning a technology such as a QR code. So right now there's different technologies that you can use to create this experience. So it could be through the use of a QR code, it could be through voice assistance, you could use a digital watermark, or you could use image recognition. But ultimately, one of the easiest ways has been through the use of a QR code. So you put a QR code on your mail piece, you put a strong call to action on, and allows the user to scan that and go directly to whatever page of landing page that you'd like them to go to, that ultimately that they can then make a purchase from their mobile device. So again, multiple technology triggers that you can use for this promotion. So I don't want to focus too much time on that. Many people have used that promotion. What I want to talk about with that, and actually I'll go back, is when you think about putting that QR code on your mail piece and creating the scanning, one thing that we're starting to do is take that QR code and through the use of flow codes, is go more to a one-to-one experience. So rather than just put the QR code on your mail piece to get that discount, like Maureen said, start thinking about how can you use that and maybe create more of a one-to-one experience. Start collecting more data, start increasing sales. And this is a great and easy promotion to do that with. There's really 5 easy steps to participate in a promotion. Before I get into that, however, as we talked about today, really, it's kind of that upfront planning. We talk about it with budgeting and understanding what the rates are. We're trying to get the promotion information from the USPS as soon as we can, so we can understand what the opportunities are for you to participate and, again, offset some of those rising costs. So you want to be able to start planning. I think many have planned it into a 2% in the past discount into their budgets. You need to back that up a little bit and start planning it into your marketing initiatives so that you can really start taking advantage of a promotion from February all the way through the end of the year. The only month that there's not a promotion is January. And Quad is working like I said, closely with the USPS, and we're also working heavily with a lot of our new technologies to be able to create cost-effective solutions that you can utilize if you do not feel you have the resources, the time to participate, because we believe in the importance of being able to help offset some of these costs for you. So to participate, it's super easy. All you need to do is go on to the Business Gateway and register, which is literally answering 4 questions. And again, we can assist you with that process and walk you through it. It's being able to create the required content. And again, we can work with you and partner with you on what to do for that or help create a solution for you. And then the third thing is there's always a pre-approval process to make sure that you're following the requirements of each promotion, and we can assist you with that as well. And then we have what's called a letter of intent to ensure that when we process your mail files, we're processing them so that you get that discount. And then the final thing is we have to do a final mail submission with the USPS, and Quad takes care of that. So we really want to partner with you on having you take advantage of these promotions. Start thinking about how you could do that to, again, start speaking to your customers differently and take advantage of the discounts. And from that, I think we'll go into any questions.
Maureen, do you have any sense of where the 26-point-something% of households are that are signed up for informed delivery? Like, is that available by zip code or something?
I believe the post office has a map that kind of shows the breakdown of where it's concentrated. Hawaii is like, has the most. Hawaii is like off the charts with how many people are signed up. They did greater efforts in certain parts of the country than in others to promote informed delivery. But yeah, we have something like that. They do offer mailers an option to do what's called a pre-campaign analysis. It involves sending in all your IMBs, which basically include your zip codes, and then it matches up to tell you how many of your pieces are. But I always tell people there's cost involved to create that file and send it in. Just do informed delivery. You'll find out on the back end how many of your pieces went to informed delivery subscribers. It's usually around that 26%, sometimes a little higher, sometimes lower.
I have a question around informed delivery. Do you have any other financial services companies that are concerned about fraud? And the reason I ask is we leverage informed delivery for everything except acquisition. And when we get into acquisition, the feedback we receive is, oh, great, not only are we going to create an opportunity for someone to perhaps apply for a credit card in someone else's name, but now we're going to enable them with informed delivery to know exactly when that fraudulent card arrives in the mailbox. So I was just curious if anyone else had similar feedback, or if there were stats or another case study that we could maybe say, hey, maybe we should test into it.
So I know the post office has some security around signing up for informed delivery. It's been some time since I signed up, but I had to give my social security number. So I believe that there's some security there, but of course, you know, email can be hacked too, so I understand your concern.
Well, and the reality is if you're a letter size piece, that scan, the picture of your piece is in the email anyway. It's not, whether you're, right, whether you're participating as a mailer, that scanned piece, because your letter size automatically goes in there. So it's going there no matter what, but participating allows you to get the 4% discount along with that.
And that's our argument.
And
you can't opt out of informed delivery. So like she said, it's going anyway.
Like 4%.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on that. I've been tracking on the mobile shopping for like over 4 years, and every week I download all the data of what's going on and everything. And every week they're adding anywhere between 100 to 250,000 people to the list. So that's how fast it's growing. When I first started tracking, it was really small, and now it's into the millions.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Speaking to the financial services end of things, we get the same pushback from some of our partners, that they're concerned about fraud, and I do make the same argument. If somebody's subscribed to it, that's an arrangement between them and the Postal Service, and not us. And some of them are actually concerned about opt-outs, and I'm like, there's no link there, you know. But if you want to talk a little bit about it, I've got the same concerns coming at me about using informed delivery.
Anyone else? Okay.
So see us if you're interested in help with any of these.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that? There was one other question that came up over here. You can't compound it, so you can't take the 2% for mobile and then take the 4% informed delivery. This is an additive. But as you could see, we told you that we're going to start going into the, how can we start saving money? I don't know why anybody wouldn't be doing one of these promotions now, and obviously informed delivery this fall. I mean, it takes 4%. We're talking about 6 to 8% on an increase that just cut it in half by just using these things. And then there's the marketing aspect on top of it. So